you see. Can't be nobody else, a goddess that's me. What you see is what you get. You ain't seen nothing yet. Guarantee sure bet.
Hey, beautiful soul. Welcome back to More with V, Unleash Your Inner Badass. I'm your host, V, life doula, bonus mom, intuitive guide, and your reminder that abundance is your birthright. Today's conversation is one that hits deep. Money, healing, and rewiring your wealth energetics. This is not the surface level affirmations, though those help because, as you know, in episode 6, we looked at just how to shift our mindsets. And one of the things is to use affirmations. And if you remember, if you haven't listened to it, definitely go like, subscribe, follow, go back and listen to it and see where I talked about how your energetics have to be in alignment with the affirmation for it to actually work. But this week, we're really concentrating on going deep, and it's about healing the trauma, the scarcity codes and energetic patterns that live in our bodies and our lineage, because money isn't just numbers on a screen. It's a relationship. It's an energy, and for so many of us, it's a relationship marked by fear, survival, and shame. So today, we're going to talk about how to shift that, releasing trauma, healing generational money wounds, and building a sacred relationship with money. Let's get real. Money activates survival. Think about it. When that bill hits your inbox or your account balance dips low, your body just doesn't feel stress. It often goes into fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And this is why you just can't just think yourself positive out of a situation. And you just can't think yourself positive your way into prosperity. Your nervous system has to feel safe. So ask yourself, what happens in my body when I think about money? Do I get some tightness in my chest or in my throat? Do I get a knot in my stomach? Do I get numb or feel like really avoidant? Like, what is your body telling you the truth about your money story? So for me, I remember there was this one time I was in Costa Rica, and I was sitting in an empty-ish apartment that I had been sharing with some amazing people. And my other roommates had moved out. I had a few days left before I was scheduled to move. And I still didn't have a place to live. I had limited funds to work with. I felt abandoned and alone and deserted. And all of this manifested in me. I just broke into hives and feeling really, really ill, like nauseous and just ill, like dis-ease, like in the truest sense of the feeling. So this was something that hadn't happened to me previously, especially not in this way and to this magnitude. So up until this point, I had only had like one major panic attack, and but this was something else. Well, at first, I just allowed myself to feel all the feelings. I allowed myself to really delve deep into those feelings of being deserted, being like left on the side of the road, and being abandoned, and all of that. And I felt all the emotions that came with it. I felt the little girl sobbing within me for those feelings that I had because of my mom, because of my dad. So I just allowed myself to feel all of that. And I didn't resist the rabbit hole. It felt scary because I was like, we're going deep here. I feel I'm going deep into these emotions. And sometimes it feels like that. Sometimes it feels like when we're going through something that we're going so deep that we may not come out. And that fear is what keeps us from actually going in. It doesn't have to be that way. Yes, I can feel fully down to the depths of my soul until I am sobbing. And know that these are the feelings that I'm feeling. They don't have to identify me. They are just the state of being. I am allowing myself to feel all of those feelings, all of the hurt, all of the pain. that I didn't allow myself to feel before, that I didn't allow myself to experience because I was too busy. I didn't have time for that. I had to get back to work and do all the things. That's in the past. Like, yes, that's all true. While that is all true, your feelings are still valid. While the truth is our feelings are an illusion. They're not even real. They're just things that we attached to an experience. But it doesn't have to be real for us. It doesn't have to stay real for us. And we are living proof of that. We have been through a lot. And though we didn't necessarily delve deep into our emotions, we experienced a lot of heartbreak and pain and trauma. We're still here. But then there's these moments, especially now, like with the equinox and the portals and the eclipses, that it's asking us and encouraging us to really feel those emotions we never give ourselves time for. Feel those emotions that we said we would deal with when we're at another point. Feel it. And we like to say you gotta feel it to heal it, and it's so true. But you have to feel the depths of it. And sometimes that can feel hard. Sometimes that can feel scary because we feel like, oh man, I don't want to go that low again. I don't want to be where I was before. Well, I've got good news for you. You will never be where you were. You'll always be this or better. Even when we say I fell back or I backslid or whatever the case may be, it's just you're never going back to where you were because you've already been there. That's as far as you're going. So it's never going to be worse. Now, if it feels worse, it's because you're delving into emotions and feelings that you have not before. And that's okay. But you are living proof that you can feel all of your emotions. It's safe because you got you. And you have a whole supreme team behind you. You have your heavenly father, heavenly mother, your God, your goddess. You have the oneness that we are. Because if I can do it, you can do it. And if you don't believe it, you can borrow my faith until you get some of your own. So what I did is I allowed myself to be where I was at, to feel the feelings, and eventually I sobbed and rocked myself to sleep. And I was smiling because I really just loved this acknowledgement right now that I really nurtured and nourished myself in that moment. I didn't make myself feel bad. I didn't make myself just try to stop feeling the feelings. I allowed myself that space and that grace to be exactly where I was at. And let me tell you, rest is always a great reset. If you're ever in doubt, you ever have a question, you're ever feeling up in arms about anything, rest is so key. So once I rested, I was able to wake up with more clarity and knowing that, I'm always taken care of. I'm always safe and secure. I trusted that everything would work out better. And I trusted that I was taken care of. I trusted that God had my back. I trusted me and that I always work everything out with guidance, with the help of my friends. When I ask for help, when I use my resources, I allow people to be a blessing for me as much as I have been a blessing for others. So the crazy thing is everything worked out better than I could have expected or planned. So scarcity isn't always yours. It's inherited. Many of us come from families who survived lack, oppression, or just enough mentalities. These survival codes get passed down, not only through words, but through energy, behaviors, and even our nervous systems. For example, Grandma used to reuse foil in bags, not just because she was frugal, but because survival had demanded it at some point. Many of our parents worked 2 and 3 jobs, teaching us that hard work equals barely enough. So, in reflection, what money beliefs or behaviors did you inherit that are not yours to carry? So I noticed a family pattern that I had running in my life. So I noticed that even though my family was living in the middle class comfort, there still was this undercurrent of not having enough. Like kernels left from when they didn't have, they struggled, they lived in the projects, and they had this undercurrent that they still considered themselves poor. So for me, this created this lack and scarcity story that I carried with me for years. And it showed up in a variety of ways, but it showed up often in my negative bank accounts and maxed out credit cards and just doing lots of work for free and, and I still see it every now and again, little underpinnings, right? But once I began shifting my relationship to money and prosperity, I no longer felt guilty for wanting and having nice things. And I had less resistance to charging for my time and my expertise. So it's so important for us when we're dealing with this money energetics is to heal the shame that we have around money. Scarcity can leave us with shame. Shame about debt. Shame about wanting more. Shame about charging what we're worth. We would never ask, well, we do now. I was going to say if there's an attorney, we wouldn't ask them for their expertise, and not expect to pay them something for it. So, or even going into the doctor, we would want them to get paid for their time. Our teachers, we want them to get paid for their time. Now, whether we are paying people enough and what they're worth, that's a different story. But we do think that people should be paid for our time. Well, why not us? Why not you as a mom? Why not, you as a coach? So shame thrives in silence. So healing happens when we bring it into the light. So right now, I want us to do a ritual. And you can do this now or you can come back to it later. But first, I want you to write down one money shame statement on a piece of paper. So it could be, I'm bad with money. I'll never get out of debt. Write that down. And then I want you to get a candle. I want you to light the candle, rip the paper, or burn it. I would suggest burning it in the candle and have a fire-safe container next to you or a bowl or something like that. So light the candle, burn the paper, or rip the paper up into really small pieces. And then replace it with a new declaration. I am safe and open to receive. My worth is not defined by my debt. I honor myself by charging fully. So I've experienced shame come up in my journey, finances, and other aspects of my life. One way it would show up is I used to not open my mail. I love getting mail from when I was a little kid. When my grandfather, I loved when people came to see me or they would bring me gifts. To me, even the mail was a gift. And that's so funny that I used to think it was a gift then. But then as I got to an adult, I was like, it's not a gift. But as a kid, I used to love when my grandfather would bring in the mail. And I would go through the mail and sort the mail. And 9 times out of 10, I did not have anything in the mail. But there were times that I would have something in the mail and it was even more exciting. But I love the mail because I saw it as a gift. So when I got to be an adult and experience getting things in the mail that you necessarily don't want, or feeling like every time I open the mail, it's a bill. There's never any good mail kind of thing, it's all junk mail, right? So I used to not open my mail. And especially if I thought it was a bill or a letter from a bill collector. Okay. So what happened was, though, it created this avoidant energy around money. So, and let's not even try to think about discussing money. That was out of the question. So once I started shifting my energy from shame and denial, I made a pact with myself to open all my mail, no matter what it was. And now I get excited to pay my bills because, yes, I have the money to do it. And if I don't have the money in the moment, I make a plan, and when I do, I pay it off and I celebrate. And now I get checks in the mail spontaneously. It's not a lot of money, like in the greater scheme of things, but it's because I open myself up to receive, and because I open all of my mail, I get surprises and delights on a regular basis. Just things coming in the mail. I got one time someone sent $1 in the mail. I don't know, it was something they gave you $1 for something just for reading their ad. Okay. What? Just money coming in the mail. But if I wasn't opening my mail or throwing away or ripping it up, I would miss out on opportunities. So there's so much joy that can be found in even the little things, and celebrating ourselves even in the little wins, big wins. It's all the same energetically. So I want to give you some somatic and energetic practices that can assist you with money healing. So it's not just in our mind, like I mentioned before, it's also in our bodies. So I want to give you 3 somatic grounding exercises that you can use whenever you're feeling anxious about something. So this first one is a somatic grounding. It's placing your hand on your heart and one on your belly and breathing in deeply. And as you're breathing in, just feeling yourself being grounded in your body, knowing that you are safe and secure in that present now moment. And this is when you can affirm, I am safe to receive. I am safe, I am secure, I am stable. Now, in this moment, feel yourself in your chair, feel yourself wherever you're sitting in your car seat. Feel that you are grounded, and right now, you are safe, you are secure. And do this exercise before opening your bills or checking your checking account. I am safe to receive. And know that surprise and delight and miracles happen all the time. The second practice I wanted to offer to you is the celebration practice. I said I was going to have one today, and I did not bring it. It's like I said, it's one of my favorite things that I've been doing. Every time money comes in, whether it's $1, a penny, $1,000, whatever it is, celebrate. Celebrate with movement, sing a song, or just be super grateful. And you will rewire your body to expect joy with money. What I've been doing is every time I get a receipt and I get home, because in the moment you're like, okay, you're getting the items and you're getting out of the store. When I get home, I've unpacked everything, put everything away, and all that's left is the receipt. I take that receipt and I'll just be whipping it around, because I'm so excited that, oh my gosh, I had the money to do this receipt. And don't let it be a long receipt. Just gives me way even more excitement. It's like, yes, okay? So this rewires your body to expect joy when money is involved. And another exercise that you can use is visualization. So you can sit and imagine money as a river flowing to and through you. So you're in the flow, in the current of the money. It's always replenishing you. It's never scarce. It's always flowing money, a river of money in and through you, all around you, floating in and swimming in it, taking it with you. It's everywhere, and you are it. So those 3 exercises are a great way to ground yourself into your body, into your experience in the right now moment, and the abundance and the prosperity that is all around you. That's your birthright. So let's reflect. If money was a person in your life, how would you describe your relationship? Is it loving? Is it fearful? Is it avoidant? What would healing that relationship look like? I love this prompt. I did this. I wrote a letter to money and looked at all the ways that I was mad at money, and money, we had this adversarial relationship. And I was like, shoot, if money was a person, I would have a restraining order against me because I'm stalking it. I'm always like, where are you, money? Are you in the bushes? Like, I would have a restraining order against me. There'd be charges. Okay. So I didn't like that relationship with money. Like, money, anytime money saw me, it would run because it was like, oh God, here she comes again. Right? So I didn't like that. I wanted for a real friendship, real intimate, loving relationship with money. So I wrote a love letter and I apologized for bringing all of this past trauma and drama, and just so grateful that we can heal our relationship together. So I encourage you amazing, beautiful souls. Money healing isn't about quick fixes. It's about rewriting the stories coded in your body and lineage. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was your money mindset and energetics. So give yourself grace and celebrate your wins. So if you take nothing else away from this episode, notice how money shows up in your nervous system. Identify the money stories you inherited. Create a ritual to release shame and celebrate every flow of abundance, big or small. So if you're ready to go deeper, book a Prosperous Path portal session with me where we ground and channel and activate your wealth energetics together. Feel free to take a screenshot and tag me at More with V and share your money mantra that you're claiming today. So remember, you are not your bank account balance. You are abundance embodied. Roar. Thank you for watching. Special thanks produced by Deshaun J. Moore. Music, I'm Coming Out by Anu at Anu Lee. Thank you to all my listeners. Follow me on social media at More with Me. Like and subscribe.